Hi friends, in this video we will be talking about disk scheduling algorithms. So disk scheduling is done by the operating system to schedule IO requests arriving for the disk. That is, different processes will be requesting IO requests for the disk, and it is done by using disk scheduling. Disk scheduling is also known as IO scheduling. So why we need to schedule is that whenever there will be a multiple IO requests arriving, which are done by the different processes, and we can process only one IO request at a time. That is, only one IO request can be served at a time by a disk. So all the requests which are coming for the IO must wait in a waiting queue, and this all the process must which process should get served will be dependent on the scheduling what we that is done by disk scheduler. So when we are seeing about disk scheduler, we have to know about disk access time. Okay, so disk access time is a combination of seek time added by rotational latency plus transfer time. If we add these three times, we will be getting the disk access time. So disk access time determines the disk transfer speeds. Okay, so let us see what is a seek time. A seek time is time taken to locate a disk arm to a specified track where we need to read or write a data. So that is what a seek time is. And whenever we are performing disk scheduling, we will be seeing that the disk scheduling algorithm should provide us minimum average seek time. So the algorithm which provides minimum average seek time is the best disk scheduling algorithm. So next we will be seeing about rotational latency. What is rotational latency? Rotational latency is the time taken by the desired sector of the disk to rotate into position. So desired sector which we want to read or write, that should be moved into the disk position so that we can read or write. That is called as rotational latency, and the disk scheduler algorithm which gives minimum rotation latency is better one. Now transfer time. Transfer time is the time taken to transfer the data, and it depends upon the rotation speed of the disk and number of bytes to be transferred. Okay, so this is what the concept of seek time, rotational latency. That is, the algorithm which provides minimum average seek time and minimum rotational latency will be the better disk scheduling algorithm. Okay, so you can see what is the bandwidth? Bandwidth is the amount of data transferred divided by the total amount of time for the first request being made to the last transfer being completed. That is, how we will be calculating the bandwidth. The bandwidth is the amount of data transferred. So amount of data transferred divided by the time when you made the first request to the time when the last request has been completed. So the total time will be taken into considered, and the amount of data transferred will be divided by the term, which will give us bandwidth. So both bandwidth and access time can be improved by processing requests in a good order. That is, all the requests, IO requests which are made for the disk by the processor, if you make them in a good order, then we can improve bandwidth and access times. So that is where scheduling algorithms comes. So there are different types of scheduling algorithms to improve average access times. So we will be seeing one by one. So the first one we will be discussing about is first come first serve disk scheduling algorithm. So the idea of first come first serve, as the name suggests, is the requests are addressed in the order they arrived in the disk queue. That is, how the processes, whichever the process requests the disk, whichever request comes first, that will be processed first. So this algorithm, every process gets a fair chance, but it may not provide the best possible service. So let us see with an example. Here we have the processes requests for the following sectors. Let us think that these are the sector numbers. So supposing that we have processes 98 requests for 98, 183, 37, 122, 14, 124, 65 and 67, and think that our head is positioned at sector 53. Now the first request is for 98, so we will be moving, rotation will be done to the sector 98. From there request will be processed, then we will be moving to 183. From there the request is for 37. You can see a wild string here. That is, after reaching to 137, again we have to come to 183, we have to come to 37. Then from 37 there is again a request to 122. Then from 122 again we are moving to 14, and then we are again moving to 122. So after 122 there is 14 and then 124. In the gap of two sectors we have moved to 14, again we have moved to 120 for a while swing. Okay, then request 65 will be processed and request 67 will be processed. So you can add the all the times, okay, all the times and number of process, you will be giving the average access time. Okay, so this is what how first come first serve will be done. So next scheduling algorithm we'll be talking about is shortest seek time first disk scheduling algorithm. That is, in this the idea is that all the requests will be considered, and whichever request has the shortest seek time, that is from present disk ARM position, which is the nearest one, we'll be executing it first, and so on we'll be doing it. So the request near to the disk RAM will be executed first. Okay, so it is considered to be improvement over first come first serve. It decreases average response time and increases throughput of the system, but it has a overhead, that is we need to calculate seek times for all the requests in advance so that we can find the shortest seek time. Okay, and this has a associated problem with it which is called as starvation. So that is, if a higher request seek time, if higher request of say higher seek time has come, then it will be starved. That is, whenever we are seeing that, supposing that our DISCOM is 53 and my request is at 127, so our DISCOM is at 53 and if I request 127, now in that if there are continuously coming requests for 55, 60, 67, 54, like that, if all the requests are coming near to the disk head, then 127 will be request for 127 will be starved. Okay, so this is what the problem with shortest seek time first algorithm. Okay, but you can so you can see the DISCOM movement here with in this example, all the DISCOM movement. Again we will be starting at 53. The request is so all these are requests, we have to calculate the seek times. So that is how we will be calculating the seek times here. Let us see. So now say seek time, so 98 minus 53, so that is this is 5 and this is for 45. Okay, 183 minus 53, 53 minus 37, like that we have to find the shortest seek times. Okay, so you can see that the shortest seek time is first for 65. From 65 shortest seek time is 67. From 67 the shortest seek time will come to 37. From 37 we can move on to the 14. From 14 we can move to 98. Then from 98 to 122 and 122 to 124 and 124 to 183. So this is how shortest seek time first disk scheduling will be done. So SSTF reduces the total head movements. Okay, so in first come first serve we have done total 640 required movements. So here we are doing only 236 cylinder movements. Okay, so you can calculate that and you can see. Okay, so next algorithm we will be discussing about is scan algorithm, that is scan algorithm for disk scheduling. So in scan algorithm what is done is the disk arm will move into a particular direction, service the request coming in its path, and after reaching the end of the disk it reverses its direction, again services the request. That is, supposing that we are at starting position 53 and disk arm is moving in this direction, then all the requests in this direction will be serviced first till end, then our DISCOM will be moving into the reverse direction, serving all the requests. That is, it will be serving all the requests in this direction. Okay, the problem with this is, for example, I have serviced 53, I have serviced 37, and supposing that I have got a request for 38. So now we are just at 37, but our DISCOM is moving in this direction, we cannot move back. Again the 38 will be processed when we are coming back in this direction. That is what the problem with this algorithm. That is, it will have to wait for the head to pass going in the other way in return tips. So this leads to a fairly wide variation in access times, which can be improved upon. So this algorithm is also called as elevator algorithm. That is, elevator is nothing but a concept of lift. So how a lift will be working, so it will start from the down floor, it will be moving on to the up floor, and again it will be coming to the down floor. So that is why this is called as elevator algorithm. Okay, so next we will be seeing about C-scan scheduling, that is circular scan scheduling. So it is an improvement of scan. It will be improvement over scan scheduling. So this all the requests are in a circular fashion. Once a head reaches to the end of the disk, it returns to the other end without processing any request. That is, so here now supposing that we have started 53 as scan, it will be moving, discom will be moving in this direction, and once we have reached here, with the disk will be moved to the starting, that is in a circular fashion, starting to the disk without processing anything, and again it will be processing the request. That is why it is called as circular fashion. So it provides uniform wait time compared to scan. So I hope you understood. That is, it is a C-scan is circular scan is improvement of scan. So in scan, what we are doing, if a disk movement is in this direction, we will be moving into this direction, and after reaching the end, again the disk movement starts to move like this, and it goes on processing the requests which are coming in this way. But in circular scan, the same process will be going on. The disk movement will be done in this direction, and processing all the services in this direction, and once we reach to the end without processing any requests, it starts again from, it comes to the front end, and it starts to request the IO request. So this is what the C-scan scheduling is. Okay, so next algorithm we will be talking about is look scheduling. Look disk scheduling. So again, look scheduling improves upon scan by looking ahead at the queue of pending requests and not moving the heads any further towards the end of the disk than is necessary. So how it is look scheduling is improving on scan is, so you can see that in scan we start with this head movement is in this direction, then the process will be request, and the last request in this is 183. So in scan, after processing 183, we will be reaching to the end of the disk, and again we will be reversing the disk arm direction, and we will be processing the request. But here in look, we will be not going to the end of the disk, we will be seeing only the last request, and then we will be reversing our direction and we will be processing our request. Again, once we have reached here, it will not going into the end of the disk. Here this is the 14 is the last, so there is no request ahead it. So again the disk movement reverses and comes. This is what look scheduling is. That is, pending request will be checked, and if it is the last one in that, the disk movement will be stopped here, and the reversion will be done. Here also we will be not going to the last, we will be stopping here, and reversion will be done. This is what look scheduling is. Okay, so what happens is, it prevents the extra delay which occurred due to unnecessary travels to the end of the disk. That is, supposing that 124 was the last request and there are no requests after 124 to 200, then our disk movement will stop here and we will be reversing. So that is what the advantage of look scheduling is. But in scan, what we are doing, so supposing that 124 was the last request, even though there are no requests this side, we will be moving to the end of the disk and then reversing. That is what look is. But here that is what scan is. That is what scan is. But here in look, what we are doing, we will be going to the only the last request made, and we will be not moving to the end of the disk, and we will be reversing. That is what look scheduling is. And coming to the C look, it is similar to the look scheduling, but it is circular look, which is an improvement of C scan. So that is circular scan here. So here what in circular scan what we have done, in circular scan, after reaching the end of the disk, we will be going to the start of the disk and we will be processing the request in that direction. But in C loop, what we will be doing, we will be going to the last request and we will be not moving to the end of the disk, and after the last request we will be moving to the start request and we will be processing that. So this is what C look scheduling is. So when you see this, each algorithm is unique in on its way or in its own way, and overall performance depends on the number and types of requests getting for the disk. Okay, so hope you understood. Thank you.